What's up, guys? We're back with another video. We're gonna get into something pretty interesting. Um, so we're really trying to get into the weeds here, guys. There's this guy. I don't know who he is, but he's out here. He's making claims, and when people make these assertions and people want to put their stances in here, you know how it is. You guys know how I am. We want to see if they really know what they're talking about. So this is obviously about dating, and it's about guys. So let's see if his advice and his standpoint is on point.
Hello, my name is Will.
Not this guy. Don't worry.
But I agree. Women are more picky.
I just think the men are weak. If a man can't find a wife, he's weak. Period.
That's kind of my point.
That's the real. It's not OnlyFans.
Step up.
It's not OnlyFans. It's not all this other dumb crap. It's not the Dubai trips. It's if you're a man.
It's not the Dubai trips. It's not OnlyFans. Well, we don't want to wife whores. So, by the way, a lot of people don't know this. 10%, 10 to 14% actually, of women 18 to 25 do OnlyFans. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, because they did a poll, men from ages 18 to 65, they prefer women from the age of 18 to 24. That is like the prime age. That's the prime age for a woman, right? 18 to 24. That's what every man wants. 10% of them are doing OnlyFans. This guy said that doesn't matter. That's not a problem. That's not real.
They can't find a woman.
We don't want whores, buddy.
Rather, you're not making enough money. Yeah. You're not taking care of yourself. You're too scared to go.
I mean, I agree with some of this stuff, though. I mean, a lot of guys are broke. A lot of guys are like, can't even have a conversation, can't look a girl in the eye, simps, beta males. I agree with that, but he's just such a simp that I could tell he's a simp because he's just trying to do this it's only men's fault thing like the feminists do.
Talk to women. Yeah. It's not the woman's fault. That's my point.
You could get a girl if you just.
You could get a girl if you actually tried. It's not. There's not the one Wichita cocktail waitress moved to Los Angeles. That's not the problem.
I think there's a lot of men out there that cannot get a woman even if they tried.
I disagree.
Even if they tried.
Even if they tried.
I see ugly guys with women all the time.
Right. But the problem is that's anecdotal. The data would pretty much support what
I don't support that.
How do you analyze try? How do you analyze that they try?
So the men report having no success. So
it's like the unemployment data.
Test.
Yeah.
Let's do a true test and get down to this because I don't believe any of the data
we can find.
Let's get 5 random guys that are watching this video.
And you are about to be massively disillusioned.
No, you're going to be disappointed, son. You're wrong.
The problem is I have 4,300 clients. You are about to.
It don't matter.
The problem is you're about to be
attracting simps. That's not my fault.
The problem is
we're going to get 5 regular guys, not guys that watch all this content, OnlyFans.
Right.
Let's do it today. Let's go to the strip.
You are going to be
not the red pill guys. They always say this slop. No, I'm talking about the regular people, not the guys that watch the self-improvement videos, the weirdos in their basement that are just troglodytes glued to the wall, like, you know what I'm saying, melting from the sunlight like a fucking beetle. Not those guys. Real men like me that don't watch red pill content. Real men like me that giddy up and like click my heels when I see a woman so I could get on one knee and say how beautiful she is and how nothing's her fault. Real men like me, like this guy's a fucking clown.
If you think average guys are going to go out there and just walk around and meet women that they're going to be able to date, you are about to be massively disillusioned.
Well, I don't think they should go meet them on the strip.
Wherever.
No, I'm just saying we can go to the gym and pull 5 guys. Let's do a test.
Good, and then they go talk to girls.
30-day video.
And these are average-looking guys.
Yes, I'm down to do that today. I have a videographer. We'll go find 5 guys.
This
I
guy's
don't need
this
to be a
guy's
part of this.
like,
Just do it on your own. You're going to find out. You're not going to produce the video because you're going to see what I'm talking about.
We're gonna see.
When you see how outrageous the standards that women have are for average guys right now, you're going to be massively.
yeah, he's just gonna get like a regular like cashier. This guy's gonna be at the gym. He's gonna be like some regular cashier, or he's gonna be like working at the movie theater. And then he's gonna be like, oh, there's a girl right there. She's gonna be like a 6. She's gonna be like a bop, booty shorts, fucking booty shorts out. Yeah, let me go talk to her. He's gonna go up to her. So, hey, I just wanted to talk to you. Oh, yeah, I have a boyfriend. Oh, okay. Video over. Literally video over. It's just gonna be some guy. It's gonna be some guy that does construction walking up to like a bop, and then he's just like, hey, I saw you from over there while you were doing your set. I just wanted to say you're cute. Okay, thanks. Can I have your number? Oh, I don't give my number out at the gym. Videographer's just sitting there like, oh, so how do we? The video just immediately ends. They're like, okay, so what do we do? How do we keep this content going? Everybody's just looking around.
Again,
Women should have high standards.
You are saying two things that cannot be true at the same time.
Right.
You cannot say the average guy, if he just tries, gets a woman, and then at the same time say women should have higher standards. I agree with you that women should have higher standards.
Yes.
The issue that I'm saying is
that's a
the
contradiction.
idea that the average man can just go out and find a woman right now is hokum.
But
it is not true at all.
I think so no.
Again, but like the problem is if I produce data that shows.
Well, I mean, 1 out of 3 men are virgins or haven't had sex in a year. So he's literally just and this was old. I mean, do it today, bro. I promise you, like 60% of men haven't or not getting anything. Probably more than 60%. This guy's a delusional. Like I said, he's a feminist. He's a beta male. He's a simp. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Nobody is that Nobody is that like radically on that side. It doesn't even look authentic. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even look good faith.
Was that 63% of men are the age of 30? Again, but that's your only argument. Your only argument is to not believe peer-reviewed data.
No,
that's the only argument.
Just the reality of the
like,
situation.
I think what
not
you're
even
trying
argument.
to say though is that average men should just become above average.
Exactly.
That's fine, but mathematically, what happens then? What happens to the average?
Yeah.
The average
goes up.
The average goes up, and then women's standards then also go up. That's what we've already seen for the last 40 years.
But
I think
maybe
any
above
man-
average men can go down.
I think any
so
man,
maybe it cancels out.
any man that works out at least 3 times a week,
I do know for a fact above average people do go down. They lose wealth.
at least 3 times a week.
Nigga, do you work out 3 times a week? Bro is bald and like barely big. And it got a shirt on that says The Way. You can't build a simp in a lab like any
I do know for
any
a fact above
more
average
accurate.
people do go down. They lose wealth. They
Sure,
get fat.
that happens too. Yeah.
So like I think it ends up averaging. I don't think it's that the thing goes up. I think it's people just trade places.
I think my whole case is like the average man, if he worked out, made more money, went to church, would find a wife. Easy.
Because you're not average at that.
If he worked out, earned more money, went to church, he would find a wife. I mean, he could find a bop. This is the thing. I feel like he's talking about bops. You can find a bop. Here's the thing is though, she's gonna wake up. You're gonna want to have sex. She's gonna be like, "Well, I'm tired." You know, she's gonna deny you sex every now and then. She's gonna disrespect you in public because, I mean, she's a bop, and she wanted somebody that was way better than you, but all you did was go to the gym and go to church and earn a bit more money. So you're not her first choice, but I mean, you're just like you're persistent and you're visible enough for her to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna settle with him. She's probably like 33, probably has like 22 bodies. and then they're gonna get married and he's gonna be like, see, I told you there are women out here. And it's like, oh, okay, he's talking about bops.
Point. You're becoming above average,
Gotcha.
making more money, being in shape, having faith.
Yeah, but you just talk about the average guy, and the average guy makes $61,000 a year.
That's fine. What's wrong with $61,000 a year?
That you think that? So one more time, because remember we're recording this. You want to say that the average guy who makes $61,000 a year is going to go out and find a wife by going out and not improve. He can't improve.
Yes.
And he's going to go out
$61,000 a year,
and he's just going to go out there.
I
And
thought it was
find
less
a
than that.
woman who wants to be with him. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Got it. We got that on camera.
Yes.
You don't need me for this experiment. Do it on your own. I think you're going to be massively disillusioned.
But you can't have him get better.
Yeah,
He has to
you are
stay
going
average.
going
I'm
to
saying
be
they got to get better.
done.
Yeah, but then he's not average.
Even in it, it's not a money problem. It's not a $61,000 a year. It's not
It's
the
not a
problem.
money
what-
If you
problem.
ask women, that is the number one.
Hey, what if
Get
he's
this
a
nigga
rich
outta here.
guy who makes 61,000?
That's a bubble.
What about a good-looking guy?
Whoa,
who makes
time out. Hold on. Can we get
That's
this on
the
camera
only
too?
bubble.
The idea that women want men who make more than 61,000, he said, is a bubble. He thinks that most women don't feel that way. Is that correct? You think
I
that's a
think-
bubble?
I think most women want a man that's going to respect them, take care of them,
And make $61,000 a year.
If-
You think?
if-
Oh,
Bro, do a DNA test on this guy. How does he have like the fresh and fit bop talking points? He literally sounds just like them. Like line him up and line a fresh and fit bop OnlyFans girl up in the same table. You wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. Even the voice is the same.
you think
I
that's
think-
a bubble?
I think
Nigga's a beta
most
male, bro.
Women want a man that's going to respect them, take care of them,
And make six. And make six.
Yeah, but we're talking about money though. We're talking about income. That's the debate. That's what the topic is.
Make $61,000 a year. You think?
if he checks all the other boxes,
I think
he'll
you're
be
only
good.
thinking about a Christian. I don't think
Yeah.
you're thinking about normal
I
girls.
think what you're
Yeah,
saying.
that doesn't even matter. That doesn't matter because even if I'm a Christian, women find God through the man. So back to the man, right? People think that they can be like a bum, homeless, and then put a cross on their neck and go get like a baddie. No, that's not how it works. She has to first respect, admire, and love you. Then she submits to you. Then through the submission, she finds God. She's in the church. She's not going to submit to a guy that is incompetent, that's irrelevant, that's invisible, that's nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's insignificant. So Christianity is not going to save you.
Is ridiculous, man. No offense, brother.
Wow.
That is so.
Even in the Bible, faith without works is dead. So you still got to put in the work. Faith alone isn't going to save you, bro.
Disagree with you. I think you live in a bubble.
No. Hold on. Let's make sure. Let's make
That's
one.
not the reality.
Let's
of
make
the
one
average
thing for certain.
American.
Let's say one thing for certain. You're not disagreeing with me. You're disagreeing with data. Let's just make sure.
No,
These are-
you're
none of
disagreeing
these-
with the data.
no-
I'm
no-
going to start
no-
using that too.
Nothing.
with the data.
Nothing
The
that I'm
data
saying
says
is based in my opinion. Nothing I'm saying is based in my opinion. What I'm saying is when the studies come out that 63% of men under the age of 30 are single, but like 31% of women are single, that shows me that these women are choosing a small group of men. They are. But so that means mathematically the average guy is not getting chosen.
Hold on. How does the math, if there's 50-50 men to women, how does that math play
The
out?
women are dating men over 30, or they're dating multiple women are dating the same man.
Yeah.
Multiple women are, that would be the only path. is
Yeah,
that
or
multiple
they're
women
dating,
date
or
the
a
same
woman
man.
if a woman's 25 dating a guy who's 35, then that means she's in a relationship even though she's under 30.
Yeah.
And
So
like
what was the stat again?
about 30% of men under 30 are, I'm
Julie
sorry, about
Kardashian.
63% of men under the age of 30 are single, but only about 30% of women.
So we're
Because the
looking
women are
fine-
dating older men.
Or they're sharing one man.
Okay. I'm like, that doesn't make, okay.
Oh, yeah, but hold on. But if that is true, then how does the average man fare? Not
Look,
very well.
I think, okay, to Brian's point, I think an average guy can still obviously get a girl.
For sure,
Like,
he can, but he does have to level up, like you said before.
Yeah, if you want to
Level up in
increase your chances,
personality. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
No, but my question was,
But my thing is, what do they mean by get a girl? Because if you think getting a girl is like a girl giving you her phone number and you're blowing up her phone every day, texting her, hey, good morning, beautiful. Hey, good morning. And maybe once a week, she like lets you buy her coffee and you might kiss her one day, you know, like, is that getting a girl? Is that getting a girl? A girl like sees that you have a cool car, so she just wants to drive in it. She gets in your car and she's just like hanging out with you, you know, and then you got to like take her on dates and you got to buy her stuff and things like that. And she doesn't like submit to you or anything like that. You know, you tell her, hey, do this. She's like, you're not my dad and stuff like that. So she's not really submitted to you, but she's just like here. You're buying her things. She's around. I guess you're tricking on her, they would say. Is that getting a girl? Because if we're talking about getting a girl, like getting a girl to respect, love, and admire you, that's very rare. That's very rare. But there's guys out here that quote unquote got a girl, and if you put them in front of a camera, you gave them both a mic, you would literally just sit there and watch this woman literally shit on her man for an hour and be like, oh, this is not good. Larry Wheels, he spends like $50K a month on his wife. She's over here saying that craziest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Is that him getting a girl? What do they mean by get a girl? That's maybe for another video, but
what if they're good looking and only make $60K a year? Well, how do those guys fare?
They do well, but the problem is they don't have that. They don't have like a lot of access. So
they get sex and it's over.
So I have a lot of clients that are multimillionaires, and they're like, you know, I work a lot, and
I already know a rich guy who's ugly is going to fare better than that guy. Probably.
Well, I mean, that's very astute. That is correct. Yeah, looks don't matter as much for men as they do for women. So when you look at that whole situation, you know, what we find is I have a lot of clients that come to me who are very, very, they're in shape, they're wealthy, they're very successful. But what happens is when they communicate with women, the women that they're communicating with, wherever they meet them, if they meet them at a bar, if they meet them at the gym, if they meet them any place, frequently, I probably about a third of my requests that I get for leads, they say I'm looking for a good Christian woman to have a long-term relationship with.
A third are asking that?
About a third are asking that, and they're still not finding it. That's why
they go to church.
Hold on, that's why I don't suspect. That's why I know what you're saying. No offense, brother. You're about to be. You're a flat earther about to recognize that the earth is round, bro.
No, you're wrong.
What you're saying?
You're wrong.
What you're saying?
I'm married.
And your respect.
I actually found a wife.
Your response is that you're wrong. That I'm wrong. It's just like what you're saying.
The data shows that you're wrong. I'm married, you're not, so I know how to find a partner and you don't.
I just again, man, like the if you go through with this, the level of disillusion you are about to come, you're gonna be like, yo, why are these?
Do it
why,
if you do
why,
it with
why,
me.
You're gonna be like,
I'm gonna prove you wrong. You have to share it on your show.
What? Dude, I've been sharing this for 18 years.
But you're getting a different opinion, and I'm gonna show you how to help men.
So according to this nigga, he's been coaching for 18 years in Narnia. Apparently, he's been being a relationship coach for 18 years on Planet Red Pill. Apparently, this nigga here, this bald nigga here with an Apple Watch, what is that, a Yoo-hoo? Is that a? Not even sure. Apparently, this nigga here, he is the one that is living in reality. He's the one that has the answers. After he just said, "Oh, I'm just gonna start saying the data doesn't agree with you," like after just making shit up on the fly and like not really engaging in the argument, he's kind of just saying all these vague like literally simp lines. I'm married. Okay, and I could go out and propose to like 5 girls. They'd be like, sure, I'll fucking take you to the cleaners. Sure, I'll let you simp on me for the rest of your life. Marriage isn't really what the flex, guys. It's not a flex for guys for real. But I mean, Most marriages are like getting ended in divorce. Most marriages are like sexless. The girl doesn't even find the guy attractive. She's cheating on him with the pool boy. And especially the marriages where the guy is out here on podcasts bragging about being married.
Find a wife in a year.
I'm not against marriage, though. I'm a Christian. You know, there's still real niggas that get married. It's rare, but it is not the majority. I won't say it's rare. It's not the majority. Niggas like him are a majority of the people getting married.
Is most of your people you get to find a wife, or what is their end?
At least a
like
long-term
him,
relationship,
like
a lot
I
of
just
them ask
said.
for a wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
They want a wife.
And then do you tell them to go to church?
I don't tell them specifically to go to church.
Okay, well that's where you're wrong too. If they want if a third
Oh
of them
my
want
gosh,
a
this
Christian
nigga here,
woman
bro.
and then they're not going to church, how are they going to find a Christian woman?
That doesn't mean they're not going to church because it wasn't my prescription to not go to church. If they're looking for a Christian woman, then they should go to church. My point is, I have clients that are secular, Muslim, and Jewish. That's why I'm not going to just tell them.
Even the Muslims need to go to mosque.
Okay, so that's my point. It's like that's why I'm not going to prescribe for them. My program is not, hey, are you a good Christian conservative man? Join my program. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So the whole issue is going back to what I said before. If you have these women that are choosing men who are either older or they're sharing multiple men, that means the average guy is not faring very well in the sexual marketplace right now. And his response is, well, if I just train them and tell them a couple things, well, then they're not average anymore. And the idea that most men are fine with a husband who makes $61,000 a year is ludicrous. It is ludicrous. Thank you, Bleed.
I will.
Well, that's also statistically wrong because the average man, that's what they make.
Yes, and most men are not getting married.
Yeah.
And that's not an income thing. That's a secular thing.
Oh my God.
That's a religious thing.
No,
That's
it's
why I see this. I see the view.
I kinda agree on that.
Just like the only reason to get married is for a family. That's the only reason I could see a secular person getting married is to have a family. So you could have, the husband, wife, and
I actually agree on that point. I don't think, I don't agree. I don't even think there's a reason to get married if you're secular. Because what's the point? I mean, it would just be a legal contract at that point. So I guess, but marriage it is like ceremonial. It is biblical. So unless you're going to do it how, like, imagine me taking something from somewhere and then using it in a different purpose, like using it with a different function. That would be like me taking this iPhone and then using it as a fucking a thing to block the sun. Like, it's like, well, okay, it's not really going to turn out. It's not really going to turn out the same as the niggas that were using it for an iPhone. You can't just take marriage from the Bible and then make it this secular legal contract and then expect for it to perform like marriage. So I agree with what he's saying. But he and many Protestant megachurch Christians, evangelical Christians, and some Catholics too, what they get wrong is they think that there's bops and there's Christian women. But there's just women. That's the only thing. There's just women. There's just women. And if the price is right, they're going. If the stakes are right, they're going. If the situation is hot, they're going. You know what I'm saying? If the stove is on low, it's been on low for an hour, they're going. It doesn't matter if they're Christian or not, bro. So Christianity doesn't save you from reality. That's my problem with how he's coming at this.
show your kids a good family. That's the only other reason.
As a secular person. Okay.
What would be the only? What would be the?
I'm totally. I agree with you that, but that was
Okay.
the original
So
point. The original point was
Right.
the average guy is just going to go out there and not be horrifically rejected by the majority of women he encourages.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're just kind of reiterating themselves, kind of just
Working across team.
repeating themselves. But yeah, I mean, this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. He didn't know the facts. And the problem is he's like rejecting the red pill, which I mean, you cannot like the red pill. That's cool. You cannot like the creators. That's fine. Some people don't like some of the creators in the red pill. That's cool. You don't have to like them. But when you reject the whole concept, now you're like rejecting a lot of facts. You're rejecting a lot of statistics. You're rejecting a lot of kind of biological truths like hypergamy. Hypergamy is true. Hypergamy isn't true for non-Christian women. Like, that's not a thing. Hypergamy just is. So when you just reject the red pill outright, you're going to be looking like an idiot like this guy, because you're like rejecting reality, biology. You're rejecting a lot of things that go into that. You know, what you need to do is you need to absorb and adopt the red pill and then make your own content with it. You know, if you want to get the red pill and talk to women like this and deliver it in a nice way so they don't get their feelings hurt, then do that. But don't reject the whole red pill, because now you're looking stupid. You think like this guy's not going to get invited on another podcast. He's saying nonsense. His podcast tour is done. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys agree, like the video, comment. What do you guys think? I know we did a video on this already. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on the guy. He's a Christian, so I like that. Now, I don't want to just shit on his whole life, but just firmly disagree with the philosophy. But we'll see you guys on the next vid.